Hey guys, this is Micah from Team Iron Core. Today I will be deck profiling I call it Burn Baby Burn. It's Laval Firefist. And it's what I played at Comic Book University. So if you wanted to see the deck profile, here it is. Awesome, so to start out, I'm going to start with monsters and move into the main deck. So starting out, we run 3 Laval Cannon. So Laval Cannon, it's a warrior type, so you can search it out with Rhoda. Also, if you don't know what Laval Cannon's effect, when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one of your banished Laval monsters, or you target one of your banished Laval monsters and special summon it. So it becomes kind of a Wolfbark engine for your banished Laval cards. You can also grab your Lakeside Ladies Make Black Rose. Also, if you have, it's just one Laval monster, so if you have your Laval Dragon banished, so if you banished it for some reason, you could grab it and keep going off with it. So there's that, but this is kind of the most or half of the engine, I guess you can say. The other half is these. So Laval Lakeside Lady, Handmaidens. Laval Handmaiden. So Handmaiden sends, when this card is sent to the graveyard, we could have another Laval in the graveyard besides Handmaiden. So if you have Lakeside Lady, you can send another one. So the engine is specifically you grab your Molten Conduction Fields and you send a Laval Handmaiden and a Lakeside Lady, or another Laval monster, and you keep sending Laval monsters to thin out your deck. And then there's your Laval Lakeside Ladies. And this card is if you control Laval Lakeside Lady, and so you need 2 other names in the graveyard for Lavals. So for instance, you have Handmaiden and let's say a Cannoneer, or a Cannon. Then you banish Lakeside Lady and one of the other ones, and you pop a set card, so that includes monsters if they're set. But it's great for back row hate. Especially for people that aren't really running a lot of back row. It's really nice for that. I did also run MSTs in addition to it, though. I ran 1 Cannoneer. This is... it wasn't so much for its effect as much as I wanted another rank 4, because I didn't like sending my cannons to the graveyard. And it's also Rekindle target, which is just stupid. But that is my whole entire Laval engine. So moving on... my Firefist engine, I ran double bear and 1 gorilla. And that was it. I did not run the 3rd bear. I didn't want to see it. I really just wanted to see the 2 bear. I understand that there's only, and then I had the Wolfbark. I understand this is only 4 targets for 3 tanky. However, I do run the Dagusto Emerald and the Potted Economy to send them all back, so it wasn't really that big a deal. I just didn't really want to see any more than this. That's the reason I ran that. And then I ran the hands. So 2 Fire Hand and 2 Ice Hand. I didn't like any more than this because I didn't want to see them all that often. It was nice to open up with it. If I open up with that and a Molten Conduction Field and then like a Rhoda, it was just game over because they couldn't do anything. I'd remove their back row and do stuff. And then lastly, I ran 1 Blaster. This card is busted, especially if you have those dead Lavals in hand. Send it to the graveyard. Also, you make your level 8 Synchros with Handmaiden, or you can make Leo with your Lakeside Lady. So moving on to spell cards, I ran Dark Hole, which if you saw the video against Adam, this pretty much won me the game against him. He had 5 monsters on board and I Dark Holed, and he was really salty that I ran Dark Hole. So I just keep it in, especially for locals. I really like it. Currently 2 MSTs. I didn't want to see any more than that, but I do like it because it got rid of problem cards. Double Rhoda. Again, I only run 3 targets for Rhoda. However, again, Potted Economy happens a lot, or Dagusto Emerald to send those back. So these are I never had these to be dead. 3 Tanky, as I mentioned earlier. 1 Foolish Burial. This would be really nice to send the Blaster to the graveyard I needed, and if for some reason I had to like set a Handmaiden or set a Lakeside Lady, then I could Handmaiden or send the Handmaiden and make my plays off that way. 3 Molten Conduction Field. You just want to see it to be able to thin out your deck really fast. Drawing into 2 is kind of annoying, but in the same instance, I could normally get away with sending all the cards I needed, and especially if I did draw into 2 or drew into 1 in a Foolish Burial, it was really game over. And if you see this in Rekindling, your opponent cries. So this is an updated version than the one that I played at Comic Book University. I played more traps. I played a Torrential and 2 Phoenix Chains, which turned out to just be bad, and I wanted more consistency cards. So right now I'm running 3 Pot of Duality. This is really good for mainly going first. This deck doesn't really go off first turn. It normally takes a turn to set up, which is slightly unfortunate. But if you open like a Tenki, you can still make plays and still plus off of it. And that's really the point of the deck, is the deck is just really really more consistent than anything else. So 1 Rekindling and currently 1 Soul Charge. I would run a second Soul Charge, but this is updated for the next format, which I am still deciding if I want to run 3 Rhoda or not. So this is currently updated for the next format ban list, so that's how that is. But moving on. 2-Potted Dichotomy, as I mentioned earlier, this card is amazing, and the different types, obviously I have Dragon, Beast Warriors, Pyros, and Aqua, and then any of my Xyz, in making any of my Xyz or Synchros, just adds that third target instantaneous. So this card was never ever dead, and the draw 2 is really nice, and being able to recycle through your stuff is also really good. And then I'm just running 3 traps, and that is a Warning, a Compulse, and a Bottomless. I would, if I had one, I'd run the Dust Flame, if you know what that one does, but you should look at that one. It's a trap card that says banish all your Lavals from your graveyard and destroy that many cards on the field. If I had, I would like to add that as my 4th trap. That's it. That is it for the main deck. So moving on to the extra deck. This is just a hodgepodge of stuff. I literally built the extra deck in like 5 minutes right before we started the tournament, so that's what it is. So I run 1 Laval Dragon and 1 Armades. Those are my 5s. If you don't know what Laval Dragon does, you can return 2 Laval monsters from your graveyard to your main deck and shuffle and return a card your opponent controls or a monster your opponent controls to hand. And it is really, really good to get over Xyz or anything else. And it playtesting against Anthony Torres, or one of my buddies. He was running malicious zombies, and he made double Beals on Stardust, and I was just like, so Laval Dragon, goodbye Beals, goodbye Beals, goodbye Stardust. So he was very upset with that, but it was okay. And then I run the Armades as the other level 5 target. You can make it really easy, especially when you open cannon and stuff, and it's really good to get over cards. I run the 1 Black Rose. This is my only 7 target for right now, but making the Cannoneer, normally you've popped 1 or maybe possibly 2 back row, so this is really more for clearing if you have to really clear a big board, and that would be that situation. And then for my level 8s, I run a Stardust Dragon and a Scrap Dragon, except Adam, who played my Shadowall deck over the weekend, has my Scrap Dragon, so it should be right next to it, but there's that. And then I run the Leo, as I mentioned earlier, because you can make it with Lakeside Lady and Blaster, which is busted. Rekindle the Lakeside Lady out, banish your Blaster, and make it just, it's so good. It really is. By far the most pro tech card that I had, and you saw it, Ragna Zero for my rank 4s. It absolutely destroyed Adam. He was running the Koki Miros, and it was so good because he couldn't do anything. He always had a Tenki on board, and he was just, you might have saw it, but he had to MST his own Tenki just so that my Ragna Zero, so he could get rid of my Ragna Zero. As I mentioned earlier, I am running the Degusto Emerald. Degusto Emerald is amazing in this deck because I always have tons and tons of cards in my graveyard, so returning those, I'll most of the time return my Xyz or Synchros to the deck and just draw another card, is most of the time what it ends up becoming. In addition to my Potted Dichotomies, I just recycle and cycle through my deck constantly. Laval Chain, it is a Laval monster, so if you have your Lakeside Lady, or if this dies and you have a Handmaiden on board, oh, it's another Laval name, I get my effect off with it. And it's a fire, so it's busted for that. 1 Abyss Dweller, I just ran it as a rank 4, I needed to stop stuff. 1 Cowboy, and then 1 Exciton. I did not have my 1-on-1 that day, so I was just playing with an Exciton, which was very interesting. See, and then I ran 2 Tiger King. I don't often make 2 Tiger King. I normally just make 1, but I have it in there just in case. Yep, so this has been my Burn Baby Burn deck profile, and you guys can comment, rate, subscribe, tell me what you like about it. I had so much fun playing with this deck, and if you build a version, absolutely loved Lavals, loved the engine, was so happy. This is kind of a copy, or not a copy, but the original deck idea was after I think it was ARG Providence when the guy won with Laval Artifacts. I was like, oh my gosh, I've been trying to make Lavals good for years, and this guy goes in and wins a YCS with it. So I was, or wins a ARG CS with it. So I was like, okay, like yes, I'm building a Laval version of it. So that was my idea. But yeah, you guys have a good one.